Boa noite. Eu queria continuar no tema da religião. Frenzen, como você disse, o cristianismo que você retrata no livro, ele é bastante progressista, engajado em lutas sociais, bastante diferente do cristianismo mais audível que nós temos hoje, tanto no Brasil quanto nos Estados Unidos, que se tornaram uma base importante da extrema-direita. Ao escrever esse livro, como foi para você recordar essa face progressista do cristianismo no atual ambiente cultural? E se ao investigar esse cristianismo mais socialmente engajado, você conseguiu identificar, descobrir onde foi que ele falhou, onde foi que ele errou, que acabou perdendo espaço para os seus irmãos mais conservadores?
That's an interesting question. I think Christian belief has been difficult for a long time, really starting with the Enlightenment in the late 18th century. People began to struggle to believe that there was a supernatural God or that there was a heaven or a hell. It just didn't really accord with a scientific view of the world. So a waning among intellectuals in religious faith has been going on for several centuries. Nevertheless, as a social phenomenon, my parents were not believers, but they went to church because they thought it was part of being there in their community, but also part of being a civilized person. And they were attracted to the ethical message in the New Testament. What Jesus was preaching about forgiveness, about loving your neighbor, loving your enemy, that made sense to them. And I admired my parents, and I think the fact that people of a liberal stripe no longer recognize what's in the Bible, no longer recognize how important those ideas are to what is part of our progressive faith, helping the poor, helping the people who are marginalized, preferring the people who are marginalized. That's what Jesus did. He went out of his way to hang out with these, the people on the margins of society, and he was more interested in them. We're just like that. But because the Christian church was kind of hijacked beginning in the late 70s by the hard right, people found, well, we just don't need that anymore. We can have our own secular religion and not have to be associated with those crazy anti-feminist, anti-choice, Reagan voting, Trump voting troglodytes. I think that's basically what happened. But I persist in feeling that something was lost there. It would have been nice if instead of just retreating, we had said, no, your religion of money and oppression and racism and subjugation of women, that's not Christian. And I think there's still an opportunity to say that, to challenge and even shame that hard right politics that has been associated with what began as a very socially radical religion.
Gabriel.